Are you confused or frustrated about where you are, not only in your business, but probably life overall? Do you find that you are just confused, overwhelmed, and just frustrated about the flow of things in your company and in your life as well? Can you really make that shift? How can you make that shift from confusion and frustration to really having more order and confidence? And it is so important to really identify if you're confused, if there's chaos, if there's frustration, because that type of situation in your business and also your personal life as well, it's like a snowball impact. It's going to lead to more overwhelm, more frustration about just where you are at. And I like to think of it as delay. A lot of times we do delay. I know there are times where I've had something on my to-do list, and depending on what it is, I might be delaying. I say, okay, I'll, I'll do that later. I'll do that tomorrow, and what usually happens is that these things we're delaying, not addressing my little, they're playing with a toy here. so So one of the things is that I found that when I delay, when I'm in that state of confusion and frustration, and I'm like, okay, I'll just shut down, that what that usually does for me is that it does not help. It's like a temporary false security. Yes, that's it. You think, okay, you'll just put that down, you won't be bothered. However, it's not going to go away, right? It's just like if you think about, um, trying to find another analogy, with like your health. Yes, I always like to talk about health too. With your health, a lot of times you might be like, okay, I will delay doing this. I will start eating healthy next week, and it never happens. And then you find that you start feeling and seeing the impacts of not doing what you are supposed to do. So, with confusion, frustration in your business, it can come from anywhere. It could come from the results you're seeing in your business. It could come from your to-do list being just too long, not going down. It could come from overwhelm and even being afraid of tackling or facing certain issues, as for example your numbers, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. The fear of facing your numbers, because it is a real issue and it's impacting so many CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners. So I'll talk about that tomorrow. However, making that shift from you are confused, you're frustrated, to really get into where there is order and you have that confidence in approaching that, even that chaotic situation, confidence in moving away from frustration. How can you really do this? It's going to differ for everyone. As I know, everybody has different personalities, different cultures, different way of approaching life, but it is important to really narrow down where you are at. Confusion and frustration, it will lead to more confusion and more frustration, and then it just gets you overwhelmed. And if this is where you're at, I really want you to take a step back to really assess where you're at. Think about probably doing a SWOT analysis on your life, on your business. So looking at SWOT, SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in your life, in your business, and go through that exercise. And of course, while you are doing that, include some thankfulness and gratitude as well. This is something that even with my babies, we're doing that each night and morning. Just kind of, what is it that you're thankful for? What is it that you're happy about? What is it that you're just excited about? Because it changes the narrative. It does change the narrative, and you are now able to get a different perspective in life. Probably you didn't think that, okay, I really had this blessing, or I really am happy about this thing happening to me, this good thing. And that changes the narrative and, of course, the trajectory of your journey as well. So, again, if you're in a state of confusion and frustration, take a step back, do a SWOT analysis, just examine what is happening in your life, or if it is your company, right? With your family, just examine what is happening, and just do that assessment. And from there, then that will position you to know what is the next step. It might be that you need to get support, or it could be that you figure it out on your own as well. There are times where if you are focused and just assessing things, it tends to, like open up your mind to different things. So what works for you? I'd love to hear, like, when you are in a state of confusion and frustration, what has worked for you, or what have you found, works for others? If you don't mind sharing in the comments, or even send a message, and definitely say, what works for you. It's a community we have here. So it is important. Sometimes persons are reading on and they'll say, okay, this will help me, and hearing it from somebody else, what has worked, what has not worked. So if this is where you're at, if you're willing to share as well, please, put your views in the comments, and also state where you're joining in from. And yeah, so thank you. I will be signing off now in 3, 2, 1. Bye.